Our campaigns are not always easy campaigns because we actually think politics should be about taking positions. And sometimes they're uncomfortable, and sometimes they create you to become a lightning rod. But I think in the long run, it's better to stand for something and deal with the consequences of one's position than to stand for nothing and never know why. Facts will not be terribly relevant in this election. And Democrats will be responsible for everything under the world. We'll be responsible for the recession, the deep recession that we're in. We're going to be responsible for the state of the economy and the unemployment. We're going to be responsible for this big government takeover. We're going to be responsible for broken, failed border and immigration policy. We're going to be responsible for chlorine in the water. We're going to be responsible for the national deficit. We're going to be responsible for the failed wars and the quagmire we still find ourselves in Afghanistan. And we're going to be responsible for BP and the disaster in the Gulf. Why we're responsible is because it's a very convenient disease that the Republican Party has, and that's selective amnesia. And so it's going to be our fault, not theirs. They share no part in the situation this nation finds itself in. They have just sat by, they've been innocent bystanders and watched this all occur. They have no responsibility for the hole that we're in, and frankly, no appetite to help the American people dig themselves out of the hole that they put us in. And so I kind of see only two routes for not only myself, but for our party as a whole. One of the routes is if we want to survive this election. One of the routes is to kind of hide from the issues, embrace the rhetoric of our opposition and use it to an advantage, blame those progressives and those demanding Democrats for wanting more from their government, and hide in the political tall grass and hang on. And that might be a road to victory. Or we can stand up and fight for the change that we need in this country and that remains unfulfilled. We can stand up for Social Security and say it's not just about privatization. It is about no raising of the retirement age to 70 and no cut in benefits. We're talking about a deficit reduction issue. Ladies and gentlemen, Social Security did not cause the deficit. We have, as we wind down in Iraq and as we struggle to find out what we're going to do in Afghanistan, I always find it somewhat hypocritical that maybe the strongest deficit hawks that we have in Congress and in the House of Representatives are the first ones to fall over themselves to continue to pay up to $1.4 trillion for two wars that are not paid for. To my friends, the deficit hawks, don't be hypocrites. If you want to continue to fund this wars that we've been in, find the resources. You know, this is the first war. This is the first conflict we've been in which our country has instituted massive tax cuts at the same time that we are running a bill up of $1.4 trillion. Never in the history of this nation have we done that. And so if you want to, find the money and talk to the American people honestly that this $1.4 trillion will be paid and it adds to the deficit of this nation.